No one's ever going to do what I do better than me. Like, it's just not, it's not even humanly possible. Like, I reinvest every penny I make. I work every hour I'm awake. I devote every atom in my brain to solving this. I hire the best people on the planet. I've been doing this for 14 years. And I think in decades, not years. So I'm going to be doing this for another 20, 30 years, not 2 or 3. So no, the next me isn't going to be me because no one's going to do what I do better than me. It's not possible. If you knew what I knew, you could get 10 million subscribers within 6 months.
What do you think gets us to 1 million subscribers?
Well, subscribers is an arbitrary number.
So million views a video.
No, you should ask me, what helps us make the best videos possible? That's the only question you should ask me. Subscribers don't matter. Views don't matter. I mean, they do, but all that comes. Everything you want as a creator comes from making the best videos possible and thumbnails. But it's easier to, make thumbnails. The video part's the hard part, and that's the thing that you're known for.
What advice would you give yourself when you were starting out?
Your videos suck. You think your videos are good, but they suck. They just do. And the sooner you learn how to make great videos that people actually want to watch, the sooner you'll get views. I think is the biggest takeaway. Because like when I was 14, I thought my videos were the best in the world. They weren't. They're terrible. Many people are making way better videos than me, but I didn't think that. And I think, to be successful, you kind of have to have a little bit of that ego where you're like, my content's great and you got to believe in it. But also, like, if you have sub 1,000 subscribers, like, there's a good probability your videos just suck. They just do. And you need to make hundreds of videos or 100 videos. I don't know, depends on the difficulty of your videos. Improve something every time and just like get to the point where they don't. When you make good content, you'll blow up. It's not the algorithm. It's not anything. It's just like me and most people who are in my position, you just make terrible videos. And that's okay because you got to make a bunch of videos and improve over time to be great. Like, you don't just pick up a baseball and become an MLB level athlete within a year. It takes many, many, many years, and YouTube's kind of the same way.
So if you knew everything you know now, but no money.
Step one would I just brainstorm like, okay, I don't have money. What are some viral things? Like, I mean, the first thing that comes to my mind is something as simple as when I count to 100,000, which is what I did do when I was poor. And like that worked. But like, what's something like that I could do that would be even more attention grabbing?
Yeah, you were, as part of the brainstorm, you would throw out a lot of ideas, and people throw out a bunch of ideas. And one of the questions is this even doable? Right?
Yeah. First off, come up with ideas you think would do well, and then ask yourself later if they're doable. Yeah. Because there's different ways you can accomplish something.
Don't be cynical about the doability of stuff.
Yeah, because there really are so many different ways you can accomplish a goal. Like when we give away an island, like we gave our 100 million subscriber an island.
Yeah.
You can't find private islands that, don't look like shit for less than $10 million. So this isn't doable, right? All right, the idea doesn't exist, not doable, X it off. But then, you dig into it and you find different alternatives and you find, okay, well, what if we just buy a $2 million island that sucks and then spend $1 million, importing some sand, let's build a beach, let's import 300 trees, let's build a little bit of canal, let's cut some paths, boom. Now it's a really nice island, but it's actually affordable because we don't have $10 million to spend on a video, but we can afford to spend 3.5 and lose whatever, $1 million on that video. So like, that's an example of like, yeah, if you just went off the gut test, you're like, this isn't doable. Every island's $10 million. We're screwed. Like if we go cheaper, it's just a terrible island. No. And so if you like, there are so many different ways you can achieve what you want. You really got to push through no's, which not a lot of people do. You have to have like more of a dominant personality and just a willingness to, when people tell you it's not possible, just actually go through all the variables and eliminate them all yourself.
Have a stubbornness and a resilience to failure, maybe.
For what we do and creators online, it's very imperative that you have that a no isn't a no to you. Like you really have to like think and just like we take a personality test, and like just having a dominant personality is a better indicator that when someone tells you, oh, there's no way you're going to build a brick wall for under 100 grand, you'll be like, okay, and then still go check the next 10 vendors and figure it out. If I thought someone was doing better than me, I'd just start sleeping less so I could work even more. Like I'd figure it out.
The barrier to entry to be you is extremely high.
Yeah.
Right? Especially where you're
at. Well,
it's
just because I'm all in. I'm crazy. Like people shouldn't be me. I don't have a life. I don't have work-life balance. My personality, my soul, my being is making the best videos possible, entertaining my fans as best as I can. Like that is what exists on this planet. And I don't recommend it. You know what I mean? Like you should have work-life balance. You should not devote your entire life to this one thing. Like go have fun. Like, I'm miserable a lot of times. I have a mental breakdown every other week because I push myself so hard. Like I don't recommend it,
How often do you change a thumbnail on a video? Is that something, do you usually just stick with one, or you try different ones?
Well, I think we get better at making thumbnails every year. So it's more, when I upload a thumbnail, I usually think it's good and I don't change it most of the time. But what happens is like 3 years later, I look back and I'm like, oh, that's a horrible thumbnail. And so it's usually like every 2 years, we just go back and update a lot of our older thumbnails just because they're terrible. Just with like the new knowledge we have and what we've learned. And funny enough, that actually usually does help quite a bit when we update the thumbnails on old videos. They usually do see a little bit of an uptick because they're just, you know, if we take an old thumbnail where it's like seeing if whatever, like 100,000 magnets can stop a car, and it just looks terrible. And then with the new stuff, I know we zoom in a little bit so it's a little more visible and make things look better. Then magically it starts doing a little bit better because now people actually understand what it is, because I'm not as much of an idiot anymore.
The thing people undervalue the most is literally the first 10 seconds of the video. Like, I think I can quote it. I tied up an FBI agent and I have $100,000 in this bag. Here's a knife. Good luck, and I just run away. Like, it gives you everything you need. No wasted words, short and concise, and then tension.
A lot of people get analysis paralysis, and they'll just sit there and they'll plan their first video for 3 months. And any of you listening, if you, especially if you have 0 videos on your channel, your first video is not going to get views. Period. It's not. Your first 10 are not going to get views. I can very confidently say that. So stop sitting there and thinking for months and months on end, and just get to work and start uploading. Like, all you need to do, this applies to people who have not uploaded videos but have dreams of being a YouTuber, is make 100 videos and improve something every time. Do that. And then on your 101st video, we'll start talking, like maybe you can get some views, but you know, your first 100 are gonna stop. There are very freak cases like Liza Koshy or Emma Chamberlain who have really good personalities and it doesn't take them as many videos. And it's just like people who are 7'5" and making the NBA. Like, yes, there are freak cases you can find, but for the average person like us, you know, who don't have these exceptional personalities and, you know, backgrounds in filmmaking, just make 100 videos, improve something each time, and then talk to me on your 101st video.
How do you improve something each time?
The second one, just, I don't know, put more effort into the script. The third one, try to learn a new editing trick. The fourth one, try to figure out a way that you can have better inflections in your voice. The fifth one, try to, you know, study a new thumbnail tip and implement it. The sixth one, try to figure out a new title. There's infinite ways. That's the beauty of content creation online. There's literally infinite ways, from the coloring to the frame rate to the editing to the filming to the production to the jokes to the pacing to every little thing can be improved, and they can never not be improved. There's literally no such thing as a perfect video.
You basically want to remove every dull moment. You probably want to find the 10 most critical people you know, make them watch the video and just roast it. You know, certain things like if I just talk to a camera for 10 seconds without a cut, like a lot of people will just like get bored or they'll lose interest. So like having a B cam and a C cam, and just, you can just talk for 10 seconds, but 3 seconds in cutting to a B cam and then a C cam, like now it's more interesting, even though it's essentially the same thing and not that crazy.
In 10 years, YouTube's gonna be bigger than television ever was for culture, in America at least, in my opinion. And so I think a lot of people underestimate that, and I don't think people really understand just how, like, to be one of the top creators on the biggest social media platform, and that will also be the biggest in 10 years during that whole time, like the amount of value and how crazy that is. Like, you don't need a network, you don't need you know, to go through people. You just are. You can do whatever you want, and you can influence people how you want. It's just wild. It's mind-blowing, and you can leverage that to build businesses, or, you know, like do things like Beast Philanthropy or whatever. I think like people don't realize just how much influence the top YouTube channels have.